The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Y'all ready for this?
Daylight time. That means it's time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And we've got a great show for you folks today. We're going to be talking, kind of recapping just the onslaught of Villanova basketball. Is clearly the best in the country. The fact that baseball has started, and believe it or not, if you go to some sites, they're already talking about who's the wild card team.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty spooky.
Well, they played 10 games, so
we should know. Yeah, we should know who's in and who's out. Sure. Yeah, that's it. But first, we are very pleased to have back on the show the guests with regard to a new league. Actually, they're in their second league, but this is very unique. This is the A7FL. This is tackle football without pads or helmets, folks. And we're very pleased to have Ryan DePaul, the president of the A7FL, with us on today's show. Ryan, how you doing today?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, thank you. And real quick for folks, if you want to go online, it is A7FL.com is the website. And, Ryan, that's also your Facebook and Twitter as well?
Yes.
Okay. And, first of all, Ryan, again, thanks. But also, this is the inaugural weekend kickoff for the 2018 season.
Yeah, Sunday's week one. We'll have 18 teams competing this year. We're going to be bringing 5 games to you live on Sunday, starting at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll bring the first 2 of them to YouTube Live, and then the remaining 3 you can catch on our Facebook watch page.
All right, that's right, because I wanted to let folks know they can tune in your games on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be live on Sunday.
All right. So we've got 18 teams this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so for folks that are obviously very new to this, because this is unique, this is not flag football, if anybody has any illusions about it. This is tackle football, no pads, no helmets. And, why don't you share with folks, because this is your second season?
This is actually we actually started back in 2006.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We rebranded under the name A7FL 2014.
Okay.
So we're heading into our 4th season right now. But yeah, we've been playing the 7-on-7, no pads, tackle football for a while. It's a great game. It's just like traditional football. We play 100 yards. It's full tilt. You guys are out there smacking each other every play. There's a couple things that are different. We shrink the width of the field. The field width is only 37 yards in width, to kind of scale the game better for the 7-on-7. And our special teams are different. We don't do any kickoffs or punts. What we do is a 3-on-1 throw-off. So if you let to punt or if you're kicking off, it's a 3-against-1, which is one of the coolest parts of our game. There's no blockers on the returning team, which are pretty much the most dangerous part of any special teams is the crackback block. So you eliminate that, but we still keep the excitement of special teams. So, when you see it, it's football. I love it. Springtime, there's not a better football league playing right now than A7FL, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah.
And why don't you explain for folks, because it's been a while since you've been on the show, but how did the concept start, and also, more importantly, why?
Yeah, to be honest with you, at first, this was this is my own desperation to continue playing a game that I love. If you were a basketball player, you can go get a pickup game anywhere. I was starving for football back in 2006, and I started to put some things out on Craigslist and put up a website, and I was actually wasn't even so shocked about how many people. I knew there was a ton of people out there that were just like me that still wanted to play the game, and from there it just snowballed.
Mm-hmm. If you go to the website, you'll see a map that's called a player zone. And people that are actually interested in forming a team and joining your league, it's a pretty easy process.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we get a ton of people. There's so many guys out there that still want to play football.
Yeah. Who
like
takes
I said, it's not
who?
surprising to me. You know, I mean, the game's passed me by now. But at the time, I mean, it was on my mind constantly. I just wanted to play ball. So it's, you know, the amount of people that are signing up in the player zone and asking, hey, how do we get a team? How do we play? I mean, it's tremendous. So it's a good sign. You know, we're still growing this thing. I mean, right now we're mainly in the Northeast, New Jersey, Baltimore, and Pennsylvania. And we just got a new team in Washington, D.C. this year called the Vipers. So we're pretty excited about that. And, you know, hopefully next year we'll get out onto the West Coast.
Well, you know, who came up with this idea? Because when I saw it, I was like, man, this is pretty slick. First of all, it's easy to use. You know, and so the process seems pretty painless. But at the same time, you obviously are going to be vetting people to ensure that, you know, you're getting, you know, the right ownership, and you know, which is a lot of not just attitude, but also financial and fiduciary responsibility. But it really sounds like this league is poised for, you know, really exponential growth.
The product is super entertaining. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we get great response. We get, you know, great crazy views on all the videos we put out, and we have a great opportunity. You know, like I said, we got approved for the Facebook Watch platform. A lot of people don't. Yeah, even when they called, I mean, when Facebook actually called us on the phone and they were telling me about this watch platform, I had never heard of it before, and they said they haven't actually implemented on everybody's apps yet. But you know, the one premier show they have on now is that Tom vs. Time with Tom Brady. So they bought up the rights for the documentary with Tom Brady. So it's kind of a big deal. They hope to rival Netflix, and it's pretty cool that they gave us a shot on there. So, you know, the entertainment is there, no doubt about it. Now, it's a matter of scaling this thing across the country and getting some serious ownership. And, you know, as of now, this isn't such a widely accepted form of football. You know, what's your first thought when you hear these guys are playing full, you know, tilt with no pads? You think it's crazy, you know? But it's actually not crazy. It's actually a safer way to play football.
Well, you know, I've certainly read some of the comments, you know, on the website, you know, obviously from Mike Ditka. You know, and it really, it does make sense. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, with no helmet on, you're certainly not going to want to lead with your head, for God's sakes. But, you know, it's a lot of the tackling and what you see if anybody has watched, for instance, a rugby match, you know, it's the same concept.
Same thing, yeah. Rugby is actually a little more violent. You know,
it's no joke. I mean, once you're down on the ground, they can continue coming at you.
There's no, you know, football is you're 4 seconds. You know, rugby is just nonstop.
Yeah, and for some bizarre reason, even when you're down on the ground, they can continue to kind of, you know, drive you into the ground.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's another. You know, make no mistake. Our game is definitely dangerous. I mean, you can catch an elbow to the face. There's definitely a lot of ways that you can get hurt. You know, it's full contact, but the one thing that you don't get the repetitive shots to the head. That's what we've removed by taking off the helmets. You know, you're not going to get hit in the head 60 times a game. You could actually play an entire game and not get hit in the head once. Yeah,
well, that's a huge plus. I mean, but you know, you note there. Listen, this is not you know, obviously a game where there is a certain amount of risk that goes along with it. Goes along with anything, including flag football. There's always that risk, but at the same time, you know, watching the highlights, you know, it's wide open. You know, it's not just brawn. Obviously, it's a lot of speed that goes with it as well. A lot of finesse is really a lot of fun to watch, and I really encourage people to go onto the site, to take a look at the videos, and to tune into the games this Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to have all you guys on there watching for sure.
Yeah, and you know, we like to, you know, always kind of mention where people can find you, and that's A7FL.com, correct?
Right. Yeah, A7FL.com. You can find us on Facebook. If you have the Watch platform, I believe you just type in A7FL TV on Facebook, and I think that'll bring you to our Watch page, and you can like it just like any other page, and then once we go live on Sunday, you'll get a notification, let you know, and then you can watch it on your smartphone, your TV, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember the last time we talked to you, which was actually, I think, 2 years ago. when
Has
that
it been that
happened.
long?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you guys were working on the mouth guards, the vector mouth guards. How's that stuff coming?
Yeah, it's good that you brought that up. I was going to mention that before. The results are very favorable. They actually compared us not even to like a college level, really. They compared us to high school and some Division III schools, just to lower the bar a little bit. And not only do we get far less amounts of impacts to the head, but the severity of it's way less also. So the results are very favorable.
Oh, nice. So they actually have data tracking this, your league throughout the season?
The NJIT gave us a whole report, real super detailed. It shows where the impacts, how often the impacts, like the all technical, like rotary, acceleration, the things that Vector Mouth Guard was able to track is just unbelievable. And they're one of our sponsors, too. So, for those that don't know what this is, we're just bringing it up. For the last 2 years, our athletes have been, not all of them, I think we've had 16 to 20 each season, where a mouthpiece that has a sensor inside of it that actually registers every hit, where, when, how, to a laptop, and then that was studied by NJIT's doctor, Dr. Pfister, and his bio department. So it's really cool that we're able to do that. They're called Athlete Intelligence. They make the Vector Mouth Guard, an awesome company to work with.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, especially because people often talk about like the damage that it does and everything, and football and everything. And here's a mouth guard that actually register.
Yeah.
Exactly what's going on. So, and people talk about, hey, they don't have a helmet. How safe could this be? Well, like you said, people aren't going to be leading with their head.
Yeah.
People are not going to be putting their head down.
Right.
They're going to be making sure they're not going to be hit. It's the form tackling obviously got to be much better than just the big hits in the NFL. So it's I think it's great what you guys are doing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a good game to watch. The 7-on-7 is the numbers work real good. Like you said, there's a lot of speed on the field. We only have 2 linemen mandatory, 2 down linemen on offense. We don't have any crazy defensive rules about guys have to sit in the zone or whatever like Arena has. Pretty much you could blitz, you could do whatever you want on defense, as long as you're on all sides. And the gameplay is great. Gameplay is really good.
So I'm looking at this player zone now, the one that Bill brought up. I don't see Las Vegas on the map. Are you not getting any guys from Las Vegas interested?
You know what? Actually, that doesn't come up often at all. Actually, mostly, and I'm not going. I don't have the map in front of me, but I always get like email notifications when people register. It's mostly Florida, Texas, Ohio, California, a lot of California, but specifically Las Vegas, no. Weird.
Wow.
Well, we're gonna have to spread the
You guys
gospel.
have a lot of semi-pro football out there, or?
Oh, there's a lot.
That could be why.
Unfortunately.
And that's kind of an issue that we have with Texas right now is we get a lot of people that watch it, but when it comes time to signing up, there's so many options for football. And like I said, this is not so widely accepted yet. So their first thing is, well, why am I going to play with no pads when I could play with pads? This is how I played in Pop Warner. This is how I played in high school. So I think there's a negative idea of when they first see it, to say, like, why would I play without pads? So in these areas where there's a lot of semi-pro, I don't think it's such a widely accepted game yet.
Well, I mean, from my experience, semi-pro has a very negative connotation completely. So you might actually have an angle depending on if you can get the right owners in place.
Yeah.
Because most of the downside to minor league football and semi-pro football is the ownership. It's the people that can't keep stuff together. Or the guys will pay their money and won't be able to play games and so on and so on and so on. So speaking of that, do your guys get paid to play? How does that work?
No, they don't get paid to play.
So they're doing this for the love of the game.
Purely for the love of the game.
That's beautiful.
That is.
For now.
Yeah.
The idea for, obviously we know if we're ever going to get into new markets and things like that, and don't forget, the guys that are playing now, I mean, they're great. Their highlights are awesome, the stuff that you see on the field, but they're not professional. Bring some D1 college guys in here and start playing this game, and things are going to look a whole lot different. They already look great, but
right.
The only way that's going to happen is when we can start paying players, and then that's only going to start happening once we get a network deal. So, or a nice deal from Facebook Watch, which is hopefully what's going to happen this year after we go through this testing phase with them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Facebook Watch, so no one has been on this platform yet.
No, it's I mean, I said the same thing when I saw my caller ID Facebook. It was like, what the heck is this? Someone was like punking me or something. But so no, they built this whole platform called Facebook Watch, and it's built specifically to rival YouTube and Netflix. And they've brought up a lot of content. Like I said, they got the Tom Brady documentary on there. You can watch it, and you just go in there and you open up your app. It's weird because on my app I could see the icon for the watch. It's like a little TV with an arrow in it, but my wife has the same phone, same plan. It's not on her phone. So it hasn't been rolled out, I guess, to everybody yet. But I think you can still watch it on like a computer. But there's a lot of people on it. Here, put it this way. We put up a rerun of a playoff game from 2 years ago, and in 3 weeks it got 4.3 million views on the watch platform.
Wow.
So there's a lot of people on it.
So
There's
are you
a lot of people on it, but they haven't rolled it out, I guess, entirely yet for whatever reason. I'm not sure.
So are you implying that Facebook puts stuff on there according to who you are?
What do you mean?
I'm just kidding. Man. I'm joking.
Oh, you're saying that they're picking people? I really don't understand. I don't understand how some people know about it and some people don't. I never heard of it till they called me.
I've never heard of it. I'm looking on my site right now,
on
and
my
it's
phone,
not.
I could see the icon.
Wow.
It's right on the bottom, but
Yeah.
not on my wife's phone. We've got the same phone, same plan, same house. She doesn't have it on her phone. I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly not an example of a proper pool of people who would not know what this is, because I am really not very good at social media. But shockingly, I've never heard of it. But
Well, I'm actually
A lot
on the
of people
site right
haven't.
now, and
A
it's,
lot of people haven't, but they're buying up a lot of content. So it's a good opportunity for us because it's if you compare YouTube to Facebook and where we get the most results, it's definitely Facebook. Whenever we broadcast live on Facebook, we get the numbers are just crazy. So
well, please.
I think it's good. I think on Sunday we're really gonna hit a lot of people on Sunday. That's for sure.
Well, please make sure that we have the information. I mean, if you can get us on board with everything you're doing, we'd love to share what you guys got going on. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, no, absolutely. The other thing too is it somehow promotes itself to our regular Facebook page. Somehow they're tied together. So even if you don't have the Watch platform and you like our Facebook page, which you could just go to facebook.com/A7FL. If you like the page, you'll get a notification even when we go live on the Watch. Somehow they're connected.
okay.
I just found it. Facebook Watch.
Yeah.
Internet company. Excellent.
So Ryan, what do you think you see the league? Let's say 5 years from now.
I'm looking into 2020. I think something that I'm realizing now is, we're talking about team owners. What do the team owners look like?
Right.
I don't think we're going to get serious team owners that are going to come in here and they're going to be looking to rent high school stadiums and go the semi-pro route. We have to actually be able to show people what an A7FL stadium looks like. That's when people are going to start taking us seriously. And I'm not saying it's going to be, the Metrodome or something like that, but it has to be a stadium that has our specific field in it. Maybe it only seats 10 to 15,000 people, but that's something that a high-level owner can buy into.
Right.
If a guy called me now that's a multimillionaire, hey, I want to put in a team for A7FL, and I had to say to him, well, how much does it cost to rent your local high school field? He's going to be like, what the heck? So, no, sir, here's our architectural drawing of an A7FL stadium. This is the route you have to go to obtain permits to get it. This is what we have to push for in order to get this to be where it needs to be. I mean, this is cool what we're doing and all. The game is great for the internet and stuff like that, but it's not going to bring in the serious owner.
Okay, so is there no kicks at all? So is there extra points you guys go for two?
Yeah. The game starts off with a 3-on-1 throw-off. One returner, and then you have 3 guys on the throwing team, including the guy that's throwing the ball himself.
Okay.
So you don't get very many kicker
I'm telling you
tryouts.
right now, other football at other levels are going to take this idea 100%. There's no reason why you got to have 11 guys on each side of the ball running full speed into each other. There's no reason for it at all.
Well, I know that the NFL is already talking about removing the kickoff, so which to me removes one of the best plays of the game.
It's an exciting part of the game. You just got to get rid of the blockers. You
Yeah.
just got to get rid of the blockers. I mean, when I first introduced this into the league, the players' first reaction was, guys are going to get killed out there, 3-on-1. But the reality of it is, if these guys don't break down and trap the ball returner, the guy's going to score. The guy's going to score, And it's an early whistle. If he's wrapped up, and it's an early whistle. If he's wrapped up, it's not going anywhere. The ref's going to blow the whistle. No one's getting set up for a kill shot on that.
Right. That's good. I like it. I didn't see the kickoff part of it. I'm going to have to make sure that I tune in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sunday morning.
If you go on to A7FL.com and you scroll down on the right-hand side, you'll see there's a section on there. It says 3-on-1 throw-off or something, and you can actually see the highlights from it. It's such a great part of the game. It really is it's almost like kill the man with the ball for 10 seconds. It's like a game within a game. It's a great way to do special teams.
That's great. Have you ever seen the defensive tackling technique by Seattle Seahawks? The way that they kind of maneuver.
Yeah, the hawk tackling.
Yeah. And
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, when I first watched that video, Bill and I obviously used to have a team. And I try to show my defensive coach, like, hey, man, I want our guys to start tackling like this because it's just more thorough way to tackle.
Right.
And, of course, like, our guys are, like, out there trying to, get the highlight reel, and very often missing tackles and the guy busting it for 70 yards. So, it's good that you guys are, not only showing, like, how to do this right, how to actually tackle correctly, but then, showing it that, proper technique is important, especially in football.
Oh, yeah, you're going to either miss the tackle, that's the first part, or you're going to get hurt.
No, getting hurt is actually, what everyone's concerned with right now. So,
right.
So the New Jersey Chiefs, I mean, what is their shot? I mean, do you guys have a preseason ranking for these teams? I mean, how do you guys set up your, your preseason?
Not official, not an official off-season ranking, but I don't have the Chiefs up so high this year. I think the team that they beat in the championship, if I had to rank somebody one, I'd probably rank them one right now.
Okay. That's the Pennsylvania
Immortals.
Okay.
Cool name.
Yeah, they're very, very good passing game. They got a lot of chemistry. They were a flag team for a lot of years that played for money, and they won all these championships. They always talked about coming into this league, taking over, and for 3 years in a row they didn't take over. Last year they got as far as the championship, and I think lost by 2 points or 1 point? I forget. So I think they're going to be ready to go this year and get back to the championship. I don't know who they're going to see, but it's going to be an awesome season, man. The teams are stacked. Everybody's ready to go. Everyone's super excited, and you're going to see some great football out there. No doubt about it.
Yeah, how many guys are typically on a roster?
The 30-man roster is the max.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Kind of helps out a little bit.
Yeah, because it sounds like you're going to need everybody out there. I mean, that's a lot of wide open space, and that's going to, you got to be in condition. I mean, it's.
Well, don't forget, that's why we shrink the width of the field.
Yeah.
So that perfectly scales the game. It takes away that schoolyard style where someone could just run around and zigzag back and forth. You got to get up the field. It's 10 yards for first down. It works really good for 7-on-7. But you still got to go 100 yards. So
so it's still a 100-yard field.
So how do you guys line up the field? Do you go from sideline to the second hash?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, all right.
sense.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out
sideline
exactly
to
how it was
anymore.
with. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and and again, Ryan, it sounds like you guys are poised to really take off. Potential sponsors, how do they get in touch with you?
They can just go on A7FL.com and hit the contact button and reach out to us. And we got some decent sponsors now. We like to put a product in the league that we actually use. One of the sponsors that we use right now is called Second Skull, and it basically just looks like a Scully cap. It doesn't really feel like it's going to protect you. It's something that slips over your head, but it has this high impact foam, like this crazy technology in the foam. It's only maybe like a millimeter thick, but it's for incidental elbows or anything that any kind of blow to the head. But we wanted to be real careful and not put something on these guys' heads that's going to make them put their head down. And that's what's such a great thing about this product. It doesn't make you feel safe, but it is a little thin line of padding. It's actually designed to be worn underneath the helmet, so that when you get hit in the helmet actually slides on this material. If you look them up, they just got an NFL grant they won some kind of NFL contest or something that the NFL was doing or whatever. They're called Second Skull, but they spell it, the number 2 ND Skull.com, and that and the Vector Mouth Guard. Those are our 2 main sponsors right now, and they love everything that we're doing for them. And if you have some type of a product you think that we could use in the league, those are the type of sponsors I'd like to have.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, the kind of is similar to the rugby helmet you see some of these guys wearing now.
Yeah.
So
this is thinner though. See, the rugby helmet, we've actually outlawed those as of this year. Some guys that were wearing the rugby hats last year were putting their head down. They felt safe to put their head down.
Can't help themselves.
We gave out about 200 of these skull caps, and nobody felt safe. But when you see it, you're not even going to think there's padding. It just looks like a Scully cap. Yeah.
Well, they had the bands as well. I'm looking at the site right now.
And we got the bands too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the headbands are cool. It's like a ring. It's good for incidental. You really don't even realize it's on your head. It's elastic. It doesn't. Like I said, it's not thick at all. It's not going to make you put your head down. I actually played in the game last year and wore one just to check it out, and I didn't even really, notice it at all. But
nice.
It's comfortable. It's cool.
So hold on, you played in a game. You played in a game like on the roster, or you just played this to get out there and?
I was originally a player in this league, and I played for 10 years. Played in over 150 games, which is kind of cool. We could talk about it. I'm not just somebody that sprung up some crazy football idea and makes these claims. I actually know the things I'm saying are true. But every year after I, retire, I still shoot up and play. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. I didn't really have such a good outing last year, but sometimes I can't help it. I still love the game, and I don't want to get out there and play.
No, I mean, I often, as being an owner of a team, wanted to get out there and play, mainly because I just wanted to hit some of my players.
You wanted to participate more in practice.
I did. I really did want to get out there and lay one on them.
Yeah, I can honestly say if I were a lot younger, I probably would have had the same desire to get out there as well. I mean,
you want to get out there.
Yeah, it's just sometimes the level of frustration being an owner. It's you try to allow the the proper departments to run themselves, i.e., coaches coach, players play. But sometimes it just kind of gets carried away.
Oh, you get pushed.
Yeah, but we digress. We're venting here, Ryan.
That's right.
Well, Ryan, needless to say, man, we can't thank you enough for coming on. And needless to say, we certainly wish you the best for your 2018 season. By the way, how many games, regular season games, are we going to have?
It's going to be the format is 7 regular season games.
Okay.
And it's actually 12 teams make the playoffs. The first round's a wild card round, and then from there we'll go to 8, then to 4, then to a championship. So there's 3 rounds of playoffs and a championship.
Nice.
We'll play a total of 11 games.
Yeah.
So you'll be finishing up sometime in, say, July?
July 8th is the championship.
Oh, July 8th. Okay, cool. We'll definitely have you guys on before then.
Yeah, and again, man, whatever we can do here at Southern Nevada Sports News to spread the gospel, we absolutely will. I'm going to go ahead and and register to watch these games because I'm looking forward to it. The videos, the highlights are, like I say, people just need to really just give this a look-see, and you'll want more.
Absolutely.
Like I said 2 years ago, man, I'd love an excuse to come out to Vegas. So whenever you guys are ready to put a division out there, let me know.
You know what? It's funny because a friend of mine just recently hit us up. I told you about Tony Reed.
Yeah.
And he's talking about starting a league, and I'm actually going to bring this to him and say, hey, why don't we do this instead? Because there's a lot of people that are frustrated with just semi-pro in general, so this might be a good welcome change for everybody.
I think absolutely. I think semi-pro, something just doesn't look right about it. It's like, you know what you expect when you see the NFL. You know what you expect when you see college, high school, even Pop Warner.
Yeah.
But when you watch semi-pro, it's just off. You just can tell right away. Something's just not. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. I've seen a couple games. I just can't get into it. I guess people that are closer to it probably can.
Could be the guys wearing different uniforms and different colored pants and
colored
different
helmets.
that could be it.
Some 380-pound guy who just sort of stands up and then kind of looks around
with
somebody
no
around.
pants on.
Yeah. It sometimes it just doesn't pass the smell test. And it's not from a lack of desire.
They use the spring season to stay in shape for the semi-pro is big in Jersey too. So these guys use it as their off-season training, but they take semi-pro seriously here.
Oh, and there are parts of the country, Texas, Northern California, Utah, that where they're very sophisticated leagues that have been working for years. They demand the best from their owners. They boot out owners that can't maintain teams. But, some of these leagues, I mean, I look at the schedule, and after week 2, you already see the following week where, there's already a forfeit posted because they're just not going to make the road. They can't make the road games.
Yep.
But it's sad.
Traveling's tough. The traveling's something to be careful of. I mean, even that's why we're kind of concentrated in this northeast area. Everybody's kind of in a 4 to 5 hour radius, the most.
Yeah,
that's that travel every week, though. I mean,
that's very manageable, and again that.
Then at 30 players.
Yeah, with the squad those size, your travel arrangements are just
vans.
Not nearly, as well as the maintenance of equipment, and also I could probably see facilities really wanting to work with your organization, because we found one of the biggest issues here was that the local school districts, parks, recreation. They have a bad feeling about semi-pro, and we stopped using the name altogether within our organization because people just picture Joe Sixpack out there, and I don't mean six-pack on his stomach. I mean fortifying himself before the game.
Yeah.
And so it's but yeah, it could be frightening. But Ryan, listen. We're fans. We're going to maintain fans. We wish you the very, very best of luck for the 2018 season.
Best of luck as well.
Yeah, and folks, to go on is A7FL.com, the website. Go to the website because that will take you to a lot of different venues within the site itself. You can register so that you can watch these games kick off this Sunday. Are all the games on Sunday?
Yeah, all the games are on Sunday. We're gonna. They won't all be live though. We're only gonna have 5 of them live.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fantastic. All right. But thanks again, Ryan, and again, good luck on Sunday's kickoff.
All right. Cool, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right. Take care. Ryan
See you
DePaul.
later.
Hey, thank you. Ryan DePaul, president, A7FL Football League. I mean, this is no pads, no helmet, but contact tackle football 7-on-7. Check out the site. A7FL. That's also the handle for their Facebook and Twitter. But kickoff is this Sunday. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into the recap of the week and talk about just this, absolute marvelous performance of Villanova. And also, I guess we'll predict baseball, who's going to be at the playoffs.
That's right.
I can't believe that. Southern Nevada Sports News, WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back.
All right.
The golf store you've been waiting for is now open. Bob Allen Golf is ready to help you take your game to the next level. Bob Allen Golf is located at 6415 South Fort Apache, Las Vegas 89148. Choose your favorite clubs from our selection of Bridgestone, Callaway, Cleveland, XXIO, Srixon, Ping, Wilson, and more. We'll custom fit them in our state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulator. Come hang out with us and practice on our putting green to find out which club is perfect for you. Have your clubs repaired, reshafted, and regripped in our on-site tour shop. And talk about accessories. Guys and gals will feel comfortable and look sharp in the many sizes, colors, and options of apparel from Greg Norman, Black Clover, Under Armour, and more. The team at Bob Allen Golf takes your game as seriously as you do. Join our online family at boballengolf.com and stop in the store to meet us. Remember, at Bob Allen Golf, your game is in the bag.
We are back. Round 2, Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And if you're just joining us, you missed Ryan DePaul, president of the A7FL Tackle Football League. This is no pads, no helmet, tackle football. Their season kickoff this Sunday.
Yep.
18 teams this year. They're kind of clustered in the Northeast. But you can go onto their website and actually register for Facebook
Watch.
Yep. Which is something we just learned.
I just did it, actually, right now.
And watch these games live. So go to the website at A7FL, and you can actually register on their site to watch their games live. So after 2 weeks of, making our picks, and it finally came down to the weekend, Villanova just absolutely manhandled Kansas. I mean, they really made it look easy.
Yeah.
Which I just still didn't think that they were going to, just get heavy on, on Michigan, who ultimately ended up making that game. But at the same time, it was just watching this team. This is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this, that the game against Kansas was absolute destruction. The game against Michigan was much worse to me. I mean, you could tell Michigan was trying to pull out all stops in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
To be able to like get out there and do their best to just keep in the game. They actually were playing well in the first 5-6 minutes.
Yeah.
They were stopping them offensively, getting rebounds, giving them one shot, getting a rebound. But what was happening was they weren't able to score. So that it made it a little bit more difficult for them to kind of press forward when you think about it.
Right.
You have to be able to not only stop them, you have to come down and actually get some separation. A team like Vanderbilt, they're just going to continue just to pound you if you let them.
Yeah.
So I mean, which is what happened.
Villanova.
Or Villanova, yeah. when they came up, when they finally had a guy coming off the bench, which is usually where you're being the best position.
Right.
That was when the Villanova turned on the afterburners.
Oh yeah, and I mean they kept it reasonably close by the half.
Yeah.
But you could just see that there just wasn't going to be enough as far as Michigan is concerned.
Oh yeah.
And
What did you watch the second half?
No.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Well, I watched later on. I turned it off and then I kind of watched the highlights, and it was like, well.
No, I didn't even watch it. I mean, as a Michigan fan, I watched it and I just got to a point where I'm like, this is going to be a really bad.
Well, it had dinner at my mom's celebrating Easter on Monday.
Yeah.
And and she's a diehard March Madness fan.
Right.
And so so she was all set, and I just said, Mom, I'm going to sit here for a few minutes with you, and then after that, I don't think I'm going to hang around. And I didn't. And by the time I got home, and then kind of flipped back and forth, they were just getting ready to crown them the champs. And, yeah. But again, congratulations to Villanova.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, just to touch on some NCAA, did you watch the women's game?
Yes. I watched the last 3 minutes of it.
You did? Okay.
Yes. And, I always think about in terms of odds, especially hanging around with you.
Right.
And talking to George. But, hitting a once-in-a-lifetime shot in the semis and then doing the exact same thing in the finals. I mean, this was mind-boggling.
Well, I watched the game, and, they were up by 17. I kind of was, toning out a little bit. I kept looking back. I'm like, man, they're catching up a little bit. It became a game with about 6-7 minutes to go, where I think the first time that Notre Dame had actually taken the lead. And then it just kind of went back and forth, and then their big person fouled out, big woman, I guess it would be. We usually say big man, but big woman fouled out, and then it was a very good foul on her point, because if she wouldn't have fouled, it would have been an easy basket,
right? And
the game would have been over anyway. So, kind of gave them opportunity to have to make an incredible shot or overtime. Yeah. And when she shot it, I was like, that looks like it's going in.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it was incredible to watch. I mean, that's exciting basketball. Right there.
Yeah. And, again, this is a Notre Dame team that, as they pointed out, they had more ACLs than they had losses this year. They were basically playing with a 6 and 7, person team. Wow. And but they just kept hanging around. They kept digging in. They kept hanging around. They kept digging in. They knocked off, obviously, an incredibly talented UConn team.
Yes.
And the exact same thing had happened to them the previous year.
Yeah.
But for Notre Dame, to just grind out the way they did, with the players they had.
Well, I did learn something in that game, that Mississippi State has never won a team championship. I was actually surprised to hear that in any sport.
You're kidding.
Never won a championship in any team sport.
Wow.
So at that point, I was kind of rooting for them a little bit. This could be the first time that their school could be hanging national championship on their rafters.
I didn't know that, but they have been very successful the last 3 or 4 years, the women's basketball team. So I think that they're in a position where it's going to happen. Yeah. You're just not sure when. But to get to lose the way they did, still you have to get there to lose that way.
That's right.
And congratulations to Mississippi State,
absolutely,
as well as Michigan men's team for the run they had.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right.
no one remembers.
If you're not, aware of this, he is from Detroit,
That's
and
right.
he is a huge Michigan
And I
fan.
did already know they were going to lose. I picked it in my bracket. And
Yes,
everything.
he's already predicting, of course. How many losses for the Tigers?
100, and
Okay.
actually they have 4 already, so they're 1-4. So we only have 96 to go.
Okay. Still mission accomplished, right? All right. Listen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have an in-studio guest. This is Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back.
Need help with your taxes? Numbers not adding up? Wondering how recent tax changes might affect you? Don't pay more in taxes than you have to. Give us a call. No matter how complex your taxes may be, the best tax professionals are at your disposal. For fast refunds and professional service, give us a call today.
Booyah! We are back, and as you can see, we have a guest. Our in-studio, by the way, this is Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller. I am still co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And we are fortunate to have an in-studio guest. His name is Carmine Amonica.
Pleasure to be here, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to be here.
And Carmine and his co-host, Joe D'Amico, have a show, and it's called Uncensored Sports and Gambling.
Yes, and I tell you, if he hears that he's the co-host, he's going to be.
Oh boy,
he's going to be.
He's producer, right? According to him,
he's
Director, producer.
Yeah,
he's a real strong personality, and he's a Las Vegas handicapper where he talks about what games to pick, and man, he's loud. And we've done 2 shows together, and I'll do the research, and I'll find out statistics and topics and things to talk about, and I'll bring them to the table, and he'll say how they're good or bad based on his information on betting.
Okay.
And then he lets me have it. He cracks on everything you could think. Cracks on my hair. He just goes at it, and it makes for a fun show. It's not a bad show.
Well,
at all.
normally guys that don't have hair will clap on the guys that do have hair. So that's normally
yeah, I'm guilty.
And that is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
We film on Wednesdays, and it usually airs by Friday. And we're starting out, and I think we got something.
Good.
I was listening to a few minutes of your show, and I like what you guys are talking about. And if you want to cover a few topics, I've got some things I want to talk about as well.
Well, absolutely appreciate it. And it's on Platinum Air TV.
Platinum Air TV.
Right.
It's Uncensored Sports and Gambling, and I do my best to keep my composure, and he lets me have it. And
Okay, so hold on. So I can go on this show and get his free picks? I mean, or is he using this as a...
It's a good question. He'll give you some picks. His thing is he talks in generalities. So he'll say, go this and go that. And I'll say, like I gave some picks today of things that I like.
Right.
Give us an example. I mean,
so I'll give you an example right now. So baseball season is just getting underway.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's hard to just say exactly, who to pick and what to pick. But I like some of the prop bets for home runs.
Okay.
So Aaron Judge on the Yankees, and I'm trying to find that card right now. He's plus 750 to lead the league in home runs. I think that's a pretty good. I'm sorry, plus 700 to lead the league in home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Trout's plus 850, and Bryce Harper is 12-1. So you put $100, $150 on a ticket. It's on your dresser or wherever you keep your tickets at, and you're watching the games. And here we are at a half point of the year. It's like, oh, you know what? He's got 35 home runs. He's at 40. So there's some of my picks where he's like pinpoints and nails his picks better. I like this Max Scherzer, the pitcher of the Nationals.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Scherzer.
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 I say if you can find it, he's going to have more than 20 wins this year.
Should.
So they're kind of the picks that I gave on the show.
Well, I'll give you a pick.
I'll take it.
You can take it with you. The Tigers are going to lose 100 games.
I heard that in the first segment.
So this is what I want you to do. I mean, if you just bet against them every game, and oddly enough, they were favored 3 games of the 5 games, so you could have got a plus in those games. I think when they get deeper in the season, when they have about 60, 70 losses, they're going to be, people will be laying 220, 230, especially when they start playing those big teams from the East.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're looking at their division right now, the whole division's garbage. I mean, they're 1-4 and they're only a game out of first place.
So how do you? I mean, somewhere along the line, you got to change that culture. You got to get rid of everybody.
That's what they're doing. That's the reason why I think it is, because last year they got rid of all the free agents. They knew that these people are going to be leaving anyway, so they traded to get them. The problem is they don't have a good farm system.
Yeah.
So when you're getting rid of players, you have to do one of two things. You have to have a strong farm system like the Yankees or Boston does, or you trade for some veterans or some quality players. They did neither. So they have neither. So that's the reason why they're going to lose 100 games. You heard it here first.
Well, we could take it and run with it.
Listen. Don't believe that they're going to lose 100 games. I'm not
He's
even
buying
a
me
Tiger
dinner
fan.
at Golden Steer right
I'm
afterwards.
not a Tiger hater. I'm a Dodger fan. But I think that Jeff has a tendency when it comes to his hometown teams. He still has, as he says it, he's been to 50 Detroit Lion games and never seen a win.
That's an incredible record.
Hard to
It's
believe,
amazing.
but
2 Golden Knights games they lost both times a year.
Yeah,
but I did go to one Lights game.
And he's
they
not
did
allowed to a Vegas Knights playoff games. Okay, he has deceived
Especially
this
Game
man.
7.
Do not let him in the arena.
That's right.
But let's talk about, because of recently, this is at the height of course, free agency, NFL.
Yep.
And, before the show came on, you were talking about, the Patriots making a move. They just traded the Cook, wide receiver, to the
Brandon
Rams
Cook.
for a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a little bit about Brandon Cook. He's coming off his third 1,000-yard season. That's pretty tough for a receiver, especially in that organization.
With the playbook that they
let me jump back and say,
but hold on. He played the Saints a year before.
Yep, which is not hard.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're throwing the ball every play. So.
Let me jump back a quick segment and a quick note. And you got LeGarrette Blount.
Yep.
LeGarrette Blount on Detroit Lions.
Yep.
And
I tell you,
yeah, he's got a good story. He's coming off a Super Bowl win with the Patriots, a Super Bowl win with the Eagles. You might be able to change it a little bit there. Let's get back to what we're talking about, Brandon Cook. So here's what my sources are telling me. So they trade him to the LA Rams, and the LA Rams, let's admit it, they're going all or nothing. They're going all or nothing on that.
Picked up Dominican Sue.
Yep. And from what I understand, the contracts that'll be coming due, they'll have to. It is all or nothing.
This is 1 year thing.
So from what my sources tell me, and I got good sources, and they're out there and they're telling me and they're calling me and they're texting me, so they got 2 first-round picks and they got 2 second-round picks. The Patriots do. They're going for that Barkley. What's his?
Jaquan. Yeah.
When is the last time that the Patriots, Tom Brady, had a power running back and catch out of the backfield? They've been running back by committee forever. Yeah. This is what I see, and it takes some of the heat off of Brady. He's getting older. When he's going to retire, puts all the weight of the team on his shoulders, and he does everything. Now you got a running back who's dynamic.
Yeah,
that's what I see. That's what my sources tell me. I think that's what he's going to do with all those picks.
Well, one of the things that I saw, which was kind of savage in its own way, was you saw the way that Brandon Cooks got knocked out of the Super Bowl on that crackback where he was running backwards. He got hit. They had a picture of him laying on the ground, and it said on top of it, "Someone wake Brandon up and tell him he got traded."
Oh, that is
They're
harsh.
ruthless.
They're savage. The internet is savage.
Wow, that is mean.
Yeah,
but funny.
But funny. Yeah. No, I like the way Patriots always find a way to get the right people in place.
Yeah.
What the Rams are doing right now, in a sense, is kind of like unheard of. When you see all the players that they're picking up, you're just like, wow, where are they going to stop? And then they just go and get somebody else. You're definitely correct in saying that. I mean, they're really like, hey, this is our shot. We got the people. We got the quarterback. We got the everyone else who we need. Let's go ahead and make a run at this. Which Bill's
I'm a Rams fan.
fan.
I'm an LA homeboy. So
yeah, that's good.
I was never a St. Louis Rams fan, but when they moved back, I once again became a LA Rams.
You know who's not a Rams fan? St. Louis.
Well,
yeah,
they got a nice stadium downtown.
I
that's
think
now
you know how we felt. So let me ask you:
sure.
have you, you obviously have some thoughts about the upcoming draft, and the time we have left. Who do you think are going to be the quarterbacks, and what do you think the order that they're going to go?
That's I don't have the names right in front of me right now. I know that who's the guy who's got a little bit of an attitude problem? Is it
Rosen?
Chosen Rosen. I like him. Chosen Rosen. I like him. Just to kind of jump back for a second, over the last couple of years, when Cleveland had the first round pick, all the sports announcers are saying, "Hey, they have so many other needs. Don't pick a quarterback." And the same sports announcers are saying how terrible they are for missing on Carson Wentz, for missing on Jared Goff. The same people are saying that. Cleveland's got to pick a quarterback in the first round.
I believe so.
How does he have a job at 0-16? How does he have a job at 1-32? I'm telling you right now, us three coaching staff on the Cleveland Browns, this year we'd win more than 5 games.
Oh, absolutely.
I could win one.
Absolutely.
I could, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I know I could.
Speaking of Browns quarterbacks coming back, RG3 got picked up by the Baltimore today.
It's my hometown team.
Did he
I'm
really?
born in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Good for him.
Signed a 1-year deal, but
I
after
say
you're
good
being
for him.
out of the year for a year, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, he hadn't been hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's fresh as a daisy, but good for him because
Yeah.
I think that he really got abused in Washington.
Yeah.
And but okay, so then we've got Darnell
Yep.
out of USC.
I think
Yeah.
he's going first myself.
Yeah, and then also you've got, of course, Baker Mayfield, who now everybody
him.
seems to think can't look over a line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
some people say he's 6 foot.
can Brew.
Someone says he's lying and he's only 5'11" or 5'10". But he seems to have the skill set. And you also have your guy,
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Yeah. So there's going to be abundance of these high quality, high performance quarterbacks.
Well, 2 things. We got a Super Bowl champion in Seattle that's 5'11".
Yep.
You got one in New Orleans that's 5'11".
Should be a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Could be.
Pardon my interruption.
Should have
Pardon
been.
my interruption.
If you hand off the ball, it's a touchdown.
Not that I'm a Seattle fan, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're right. No,
Yeah.
you're
You're
absolutely
right. Hey,
But
listen.
to me, it's like, is size a big difference? Yes, it is a huge difference. There's ways to put your quarterback in certain positions to be able to succeed.
Sure.
You don't see Russell Wilson standing back like on a 3-step drop trying to throw the ball like you might see a 6'5" Ben Roethlisberger back. So you got to get them out of the pocket. You got to get them to where they can throw the ball.
I completely agree with you.
Yep.
I think the fact that it's almost as if they think that the linemen in college suddenly grow 5 inches when they graduate and move up to the NFL.
Oh, wait, they're not the same guys?
I think it's a bunch of crap. Baker Mayfield is a quality quarterback.
I like him.
And I think he does. We've only got a few seconds
Yep.
left, but Carmine, needless to say, we really want to get you in. We'd like for you to
Great.
be, even if you could maybe call in, we'd like for you to be a regular contributor to the show.
Absolutely.
Great. I got to tell you that it's an honor to have me on such short notice, and definitely I will call. I've got some things I'd love to share with you. We're practically out of time.
Yeah, we got
All right.
less than a
But,
minute.
we really appreciate
Okay.
Carmine Amonica and his co-host, Joe D'Amico.
Here's this.
These is guys from Uncensored Sports and Gambling,
Yep.
and it's on the Platinum Air TV network. So tune in. Their show, I believe it airs on Fridays.
Yep.
All right. And again, please, we consider you a friend
Hey,
of the
thank
show.
you. I really
man.
appreciate
Thanks,
having me.
Yep.
All right.
Having me on.
We've run out of time, so join us next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. Have a great week.
God bless.